All right. The stream has started. We have not dropped frames as of yet. Give it time. It's been a while, but welcome back to Control here on Sound Goblin Thursdays. I'm, as always, your host, the Krampus.
I'm Shiv.
And I'm Vincent.
All right. And Hunter will be joining us in a little bit. He's got something he's taking care of first, but we're going to go ahead and get started. So last time, and I realized last time was quite a while ago, we made our way through the research facility, restarted Blackrock production, met with oh, I'm always gonna forget her name. Terrible with names, but we met the head of the Paranatural Exploration Division. Marshall.
Yeah,
that was it.
Marshall.
And we also found out that our brother is being held in the containment division here. And that he was a candidate for the directorhood until something went wrong, and he just kind of went off the deep end in the worst way. I'm doing the annual review too. That's what a sneeze looks like on stream. Oh, we also dealt with mold last time. Or at least started to deal with the mold.
The tasty mold.
We got delicious mold samples.
A delicious mold. Don't eat it. Okay. Vending machine.
We've also powered up telekinesis to the point where it basically one-shots most things.
Oh yeah, we have also right, we can't do skills from here. We have to do from
No, we have to do it on the
from a control point. But we have all but maxed out our telekinesis. The last one takes 8, which is why we have not picked it up yet. But the last one is also just kind of a, well, if you're already this powerful, let's just go the distance. Object and item distinctions. While altered items and objects of power may seem similar at first, it's important to note some very key distinctions. Firstly, objects of power grant para-utilitarian abilities. See file PUT-812 for an introduction on the subject. Secondly, objects of power translocate anyone who makes physical contact to the astral plane. This is widely believed due to the Redacted's affiliation with objects of power. Not every individual is allowed in the astral plane, which indicates the Redacted evaluates who can or cannot enter. Thirdly, and this is not always the case, objects of power are much more paranaturally redacted than altered items. Looking at the specific criteria that defines an object of power, it is no wonder why they are notably rarer than altered items. In fact, we have redacted altered items for every object of power contained within the Bureau. Refer to file 5-29-9485 for full report. Okay. Yes, the reason for our absence in the last weeks is that Sound Goblin Gaming has been through various stages of sick and or dead. Dead for tax reasons, mind you. own Emperor Shiv suffered through the ick.
Look, just because I ate some mold,
See, one piece of mold, and this is what happens.
doesn't kill you, makes you stronger and moldier.
Not strictly speaking true.
Gonna quick once over, make sure there's no files in here. Yes, but we're good. Nope, smudges. Oh, this room. There's a lot to cover in this room. No. I will not run out of bricks.
It does help that everything that would be hard to explain away when you start, ripping random parts of the building out, including support pillars, is very easily hand-waved by, you're in the oldest house, don't worry about it.
Yep.
Yeah. Because the house shifts so much, and
It's actually going to apply to this building.
yeah, not on the loosest of days. So we've got 3 more upgrades. We've got the second level of Spin, Shatter, and Pierce. We also have the Charge, which is our grenade/rocket launcher, depending on how it feels at the time. We don't have any of the materials we need for any of them, but it's nice to know we have them.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are 2 things of note here. First, this very nice sort of driving map of the United States, indicating major air routes and stuff like that. There's times. Then, here is where the references start. Look over here. Oh no, it doesn't show up yet. I might have to trigger the ability to go to that wing before it does. One of the towns that will show up here, or the cities, is Bright Falls.
Ah.
Let's see. Anyway. Map. Let's clear out the other side first. I want this broom. Clean up around here.
Someone
Oh, hey,
needs help.
buddy.
I'm here. What happened to you?
I got in a little scrap. Name's Horowitz.
Is he gonna be okay?
Don't look at me like that. I'm fine. But Wells is still in there. You gotta get him out.
Who's Wells?
My squad mate. We were hunting a runaway altered item. We followed it down into the clocks.
The clocks.
A threshold. The Bureau sealed it up years back because of all the clocks. We followed the altered item inside, but the way it was acting, we weren't ready. Me and Wells were the only ones to make it to the motel court. He was right behind me, but he never showed up on this side.
I'll go find him. But first, you need to get to a medic.
Wells is the medic. Please, you gotta get him out of there. I'll be fine, really. Roop can patch me up later.
Fine. But I'll be back for you.
I damn well hope so. Just use the motel cord there. It should get you into the clocks. Sorry, the threshold.
Yeah, we'll get right on that. I'm gonna do that right now.
I don't think she's doing it.
Notes. Okay. Alright, as usual, we gotta make our way into the triangle room.
Yep. Clock. And clock.
We can start and stop the clocks whenever we want. And no prizes for guessing what we have to do. Two. Yeah, okay. It's fairly generous, so even if you miss it, it'll snap back like that. I don't know what that person finds so funny down there. Oh, wrong button.
Yeah.
Gotta wait for it to go around again. And the key. Yeah, the motel rooms are never difficult. It's just figuring out what the puzzle is and then doing it 3 times. Alright.
This Wells guy can't be far.
Now we're in some kind of area here.
Yeah.
Those must be the clocks he was talking about.
Once you upgrade the speed of making a friend, it becomes better.
I can
The
see that.
problem initially with it is that it takes too long to do, so you're kind of vulnerable in the middle of combat. And also, it's not the insanely destructive power of throwing a brick at someone.
Hurling objects at people.
Hey, buddy.
Are you Wells? Your friend asked me to come looking for you.
That must be Horowitz. Glad he got out. I stayed back to help the others. Did a shit job of it, clearly.
You tried. That's enough. Horowitz needs your help now. How do we get out of here?
We should head back through the threshold. We can look for other survivors as we go.
We better hurry. Which way?
Just follow the blood.
Alright.
Let's go.
Okay, which blood? I've made a few fresh patches.
Well, the guys we killed didn't leave behind blood so much as they just left behind, like, little flecks of health.
Yeah, granted.
They give you blood, though, so I mean, they returned your blood to you.
Doing a great check here for files. Some tents.
Is that a crate you can open?
Yeah.
Great, we can open. Ah, charge blast boost. And no, we're good. Oh well, it's a good thing that door opened.
Yeah.
What's with the clocks?
Threshold effect. This used to be a regular office wing before the threshold manifested. The forces at play in there got a hold of someone's old clock and started duplicating it. Now the office is abandoned and its clock's all the way down.
Darling being a weirdo and recording all of his co-workers and underlings. Imagine if your boss walked around with a video camera.
Fine, I didn't need that shoulder.
I would laugh if they scripted it in this way, like you shoot him and all of a sudden, oh, I've been shot. Oh no, this projector is an object of power.
I mean, that projector is currently projecting and not actually running, so it is pretty powerful.
It'd
True.
technically be an altered item, probably.
Yeah, it's
It's
more like
actually
an
digital.
alternate item than an object of power.
It's actually digital. They just, are trying to hide that from the higher ups.
Or the oldest house. The oldest house is actually very easily fooled.
Ah, I love Dr. Tarling so much. He's such an awkward human being. He's in charge of one of the most important research facilities on Earth at the moment. And he's such a massive dork.
To be fair, I would like to think that all scientists that deal with this type of bullshit stuff would have to be. Otherwise, they'd probably go crazy.
Oh, that's the guy returning to
Say, that's your buddy.
I'm not used to having a buddy. At least on a permanent one whose health is not rapidly declining.
Locked.
Yep.
Think you can find a way around it?
Let me see.
Oh, that didn't work.
That's it. You should absolutely be able to launch something into that button.
Yep.
It's time to climb the clocks.
So, you came down here for an altered item?
The anchor, yeah. Langston said it'd be a simple item retrieval. But the power of that thing had. I've never seen anything like it.
You got a remote thought.
Is it a thought about remotes?
Jasper Postbox, AI 31-PE. Background. Agents arrived in the town of Jasper Crossing, Arizona after the communications department intercepted multiple phone calls to local authorities regarding frozen people in the streets. 4 of the 5 dispatched agents became paralyzed upon arriving at the scene. Additional assessment teams were dispatched. Variations of identification formulas were tried with ineffectual results. Agents resorted to using aerial photography to study the positioning of the paralyzed individuals. Soon after, agents discovered that the event's epicenter to be the local post office. Unaffected agents cleared the area of all paralyzed civilians, animals, and Bureau personnel before beginning to study the item. Agents deemed susceptible to the item were tasked with interviewing and reinforming the public away from the site. The item was soon placed on a transport vehicle manned by unaffected agents. Air travel had been deemed too dangerous, given the item's effect. Numerous reports of temporary paralysis were reported by civilians along the truck's route from Arizona to New York City.
Okay,
A
then.
post office box that paralyzes people.
Yep.
Twitch, I would like to yell at you for this occasion for telling me to subscribe to this channel to earn Apple TV when we're not an affiliate and therefore cannot be subscribed to. Why do you lie to me?
The glory of another radio that does not work.
That's O'Neill.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, I mean, Twitch, if you want to let people subscribe to us, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
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 Like, I'm quite literally being told by Twitch's ad, I can get rewards by purchasing or gifting subscriptions to Sound Goblin Gaming's channel while they're alive in any category. Problem with that, Twitch. We cannot subscribe or gift subscriptions to our channel.
Not unless we suddenly got a lot more followers and viewer
We're-
chat time. Then
We're fine on followers. We need the viewer chat time. I think the followers is either like 50 or 30 required, and we're at like what, 60 now?
Probably, I'd have to look it up.
But yeah, we most certainly don't have the amount. Like, I don't even actually remember if they have a the chat requirement, because I think someone actually said they actually did away with that. But we absolutely don't have the viewers per hour requirement.
active viewers.
Yeah.
Viewers.
I mean, most people see us do so on YouTube, basically.
Yep.
Okay, we're good. We're good.
Especially for crack Legend of the River King videos.
What was the other thing that we posted recently that's actually been getting views?
Parts of Mechanicus got a
Oh, okay.
usually large amount of views.
I mean, to be fair, there's not that many Mechanicus Let's Plays out there, so we are offering what apparently people wanted and didn't know they wanted.
Refrigerator supplement. Interview 11/20/1974. Can you tell us why you left your building that day? Would someone like to be LM?
I was running out to get eggs. There was that corner store on 30th. That's why I left Michael there on his own. Knew I wouldn't be gone long. He was drawing at the table when I left, had his crayons out. Happy. The building came down while I was a block away. I ran back, started digging. City workers found Mikey later, beside the fridge. The drawings hadn't come off. Tons of bricks fall on it, and those drawings are still there. How does that happen?
You kept the refrigerator after the accident. Why?
It still had his drawings. God must have kept them safe for a reason, right? I'd get home from work and stare at them all night. I was in a bad way back then.
Why did you sell the fridge with your son's drawings still on it?
They'd gotten stuck to it or something. I thought about cutting them off, those magnets, but maybe it was better I didn't hold on to them, you know? Gotta move on, everyone says. What's my fridge got to do with this building collapse anyhow?
This is the Arctic Queen AI-10KE. We're going to actually meet the fridge later. We meet the fridge in this very video.
Also, if I'd known that was a guy who had lost his kid to that, I would have done a little bit different of a
your voice
voice.
is perfect. It's a shame my son got crushed in that bunch of bricks. But that fridge still had his pictures on it, so I kept it. I didn't wash off the blood either. Yeah, we saw that.
We couldn't let it get out into the bureau.
I was worried it'd wash the drawings off.
I'll need to come deal with that altered item later. If I open the safe from now, Wells could get hurt.
Yes. Our views are River King, obviously.
Yep.
Yeah.
Part one and part two of Mechanicus did really well. Episode 3 of Digimon Cyber Sleuth did really well.
Come on, we need to get back to home.
Specifically 3, huh?
Specifically 3, that's correct. A random 13 Sentinel stream, one of the many we did. G-Gen Overworld's actually been doing decent.
Nice.
Like, it's not breaking 100 views, but it has, like, 90 views, 74 views.
Obtain the altered item. Horowitz will-
I'm considering it's relatively new stream for us. Well,
3.
I took
2.
Horowitz.
It's just random as shit.
it's the current one we're doing of that.
89
And,
plus 36.
89. Yeah, it's like...
Doesn't help when we... Wait, is this...
Those are the same episodes, yes. One has 89, one has 36.
Do we do playlists on the YouTube channel?
No, but we should.
We
have,
absolutely should.
We have in the
We
past.
have playlists, they have not been well maintained.
Yeah. I don't have access to the channel to maintain anything, so it is... Otherwise I would.
Yeah.
I know I had it in the past, but I think they did away with that.
Workshop, plane parts. Okay, Mr. Dead Dog, what do you think of this? You know the airplane we brought in? Like the actual proper airplane? Guess who they made catalog every individual piece of that plane to be examined for suspected altered status. I had to count every bolt, nut, and piece of non-connected metal. And that's just on the exterior of the damn thing. Do you know how many pieces of hardware it takes to make an airplane? I do!
Well, it's good that someone does.
Still can't afford any of these, but we are getting close. I'm inclined to save up for the charge to get a mode we don't have access to.
Makes sense.
Never sold 3 abilities.
Just keep going straight.
Oh, no.
All right, Wells, we'll go a different way.
Can't yet, Wells. We gotta
It's
check
like, Wells, if you tell us to go, I'm gonna say if you tell us to go a specific way, we're gonna go to the opposite to look for loot. Like the bathroom, there might be loot in the bathroom.
Might be loot in the bathroom. Wells?
Wells, please. Wells, please.
Wells, please. Thank you. Wells, you can't block bathroom exits. That's gonna be a danger.
It's an OSHA violation. We will fire you. And by fire I mean we will hand you off to one of these altered items for them to deal with. Very low turnaround rate in this place.
Road cones.
Well, at least up until the hit showed up.
Oh, interesting anecdote about this room down here, by the way. So, for the longest time, I could not figure out how you get up here. Because it is possible to miss that quest from Horowitz when you first enter that side room, when you get into like the big room with the big map. Because his voice line will just not trigger properly for some reason, so you'll never know he's up there. And so I went in the room, I didn't see any enemies, did a little search, and then I left. And so until... This was one of the last missions I did at the end of my previous playthrough of Control.
Ah.
Because I did not know that Wells was in here and the whole clock area existed.
This game is full of very dark spaces and very bright spaces. And while it makes sense, man, am I not a fan of games that keep doing that. Looking at you, Alien Isolation.
Okay. And we're out.
Come on. The motel court is on the other side of logistics. Horowitz should still...
Oh, right, this is the other side. Notes, notes.
Shield efficiency.
Okay, so here is where things start getting annoying. Because, for various reasons, we will have to traverse through the map a lot. And as I have noted before, every time you go through a room, it will randomly check if there's enemies in the room or not,
Yeah.
and spawn them on its whim. So, going through this room, it just absolutely fills up with enemies. Because the size of the room determines how many enemies can actually spawn.
Makes sense.
So, we will be heading here more than a few times, and more than a few times we are going to be having to fight our way through the map room. Oh, and for no particular reason. Wells?
Try him in the break room.
Wells?
Eating cake. Hey, did you know it was Bobby's birthday yesterday? Left a cake out.
AWE Rising Frequency. Compiled by Agent Lisa Keenum, External Investigator. For some time now, there have been a steady increase in the number of AWEs that the Bureau responds to. Between 2010 and 2015, we responded to redacted AWEs. For comparison, note that we only responded to redacted between 1995 and 2005. Is this rise a result of redacted, improvement in our detection procedures, or perhaps simply coincidence? We cannot say for sure, which is why this proposal for an AWE task force to be created within the hierarchy of the investigation sector has been compiled. We need to spend more time examining what causes AWEs, rather than just containing them. Refer to file 5-95-1737 for full report. Okay. Wells.
Let's go.
Wells, it's right over there.
No, it's this way. Trust me.
Wells, I'm glad you're a medic, but I'm also glad you're not a navigator. Oh, also, we just checked on Horowitz. He was fine over there, right?
Hold on. Something's wrong with him.
I'm sure nothing bad happened to him. Oh no!
He's my soldier. I'll do it.
Horowitz. Oh, God, no.
Wells might want to go away about lunch your friend that okay.
It's dirty.
It's like cloth level now.
You will stay down one of these times.
Please stop hitting me with chair.
No.
Damn.
I should talk to Wells. Make sure
Look at
he's
the mess you
okay.
made.
I'm sorry.
Hey, Wells, how you doing? Do you want more of Bobby's cake?
And thanks for coming to get me. Horowitz's HRA must have been damaged in the threshold. Guy never put himself first. At least the anchor altered item is still locked away down in the clocks. I hope it rots down there.
That altered item needs to be dealt with before it hurts anyone else. I should go back down and contain it. Head to the executive sector, Wells. They could use a medic.
Thank you, Director. I'll go see what good I can do there.
Okay. Got 2 ability points. We got the enemy within, which is going to deal with the anchor. We are not going to be doing that yet, though, because the anchor requires the last movement tech, which we were on our way to get before we decided to help Wells. So, while we are here, we're just immediately going to throw out anything that is level 1, 2, or 3. Except for damage while aiming. Because now that we're getting 4s, there's no reason to keep anything that's below a 4. Unless it has a very specific effect. And even then, we're most likely to get a level 4 variant of it sooner rather than later. We need one more corrupted sample and we'll be able to buy the charge. Look, it's a picture of them building the reactor.
Man, we're gonna need a much bigger wall after this is all done.
Yeah, we're gonna need like a whole wing. Okay, so the gates here are unfortunately closed. This does not stop the enemies from spawning. We are getting money out of this.
Well, that's something at least, I guess.
Or FBC fun bucks, I guess. Going to the medical wing.
Medical wing, which is something I once again would locate outside of this house.
Yeah.
Ah,
That needs 6. New desk. That's a remote thought. That's all I need.
I mean, we needed remote thoughts for one of those
Yeah,
upgrades.
we need remote thought for other stuff. I'm not going to say no to materials.
This game has reminded me of why I dislike crafting systems.
Fair.
There's an asterisk on that. Crafting systems in games where that's not the point.
Yeah.
Let's go here real quick. Remember to wash your hands. There's security 6 door.
Like, there are some games I'm fine with crafting systems in where they're not, like, the focus of the game. Like, JRPGs, typically I'm perfectly fine with them having crafting systems for stuff.
It
To a point.
depends on the degree. When you start making me have to get an item onto a rare thing in the bottom of a dungeon I don't give a fuck about, that's where it gets kind of
Hey, a
annoying.
corrupted sample. We needed one of those.
Like, making it required to progress? No, do not. Make it as an optional way to get better weaponry or gear? That's fine. Like, as long as it's, like, there are other methods of getting gear, I'm fine with that.
Ish,
like-
but then at the same time, it is basically the planting partner system with an RNG element, or how obsessive are you at hunting down every piece of a certain thing or not.
I mean, you do not need to have the best weapon. Hence why it would be optional.
Oh,
It's more of a question.
rude.
Yeah,
That was pretty good.
it's more a question of what type of experience are you trying to craft, or are you trying to craft an experience, and whether or not random difficulty based on whether or not you have certain equipment or don't have certain equipment. And man, are we talking in vagaries here? This is just getting stupid.
So
Well,
we are going to get into this later about why they designed this game a certain way, but I'm waiting to have that talk until we finally unlock the jukebox, and I can go over
Okay.
it, because the jukebox plays a big part in what I feel is the intended design of the game. And like I said, I'm not a fan at all of the jukebox and what it represents. So we will get there, but there will be a better time and place to really go into the nitty-gritty of thing. Now, I will say, just as a thought, I think this game would have been slightly better paced if the weapon unlocks were spread out as upgrades you get. Like, there were certain stations you stick the gun into and you get a new form for it.
As opposed to crafting them.
Yeah, and then the upgrades were things you crafted.
Or alternatively, at the very least, if the crafting items weren't so varied for every single piece.
Yeah. Oh.
I'd probably like it better if it wasn't random drops for the materials.
Likewise here, we're going to go through all the 1s and 2s and 3s.
But now, for examples of systems I do like compared to ones I don't like, Star Ocean, the second story, has in fact, most of the Star Ocean games have fantastic crafting system. They are by no means required to actually progress in the game. They allow you to get some early better weaponry or gear, but they are not what limits the best equipment. On the other hand, I really hated the crafting system they put into FF7 Rebirth. It was not something that should have been put into it.
You missed a chest on the.
He's looking at the board first.
In the chest.
Important. I can't read this.
So, feels important, an urgent vision. Writing this down so I don't forget. Saw this dream when I fell asleep during Dr. Darling's presentation on food poisoning. I saw an inverted black pyramid, the board, the astral plane. A red pyramid appeared underneath? What's that? It felt scary and bad news. They moved on top of each other, like elevator lights. Going up? Is this the elevator sector? Or is this the sector elevator? Then they combined. Click. Oh shit. It's an hourglass. A doomsday clock? It started flashing wildly. The sand is leaving down. Oh no. Felt terrible. Now it's all down and red on the top. This can't happen. We must stop this from happening. They rule us now. I woke up screaming. This is a warning. Moirvo. Moirvo, you
Yeah,
can't.
that certainly is a thing.
Moirvo, you can't just take every dream you see as a warning.
To be fair, that's probably actually a warning.
I mean,
Red seems to be the color of the hiss.
There's a higher than average chance it's a warning, but
Always
To be
one
fair,
above
I would
what
love
you
to see some red herring ones. There's like other dreams that are there that actually have nothing to do with it.
globe procedures. The Wolf Globe, AI72-PE. Name procedure. No unique procedures required. However, contact should be limited as some report feeling disoriented after touching it. Item is handmade, set in dark wood. The item itself is lacquered, hand-painted, spins freely on all axes. While the continents and oceans are recognizably those of Earth, careful examination has revealed numerous redacted and other geographic additions that do not exist on our planet. One of these islands is a city marked on it named Tan Relio. There are no signatures left by its maker. Physical contact renders subjects dizzy and disoriented, with some reporting a feeling of unfamiliarity with their surroundings. As effect seems to grow worse with prolonged contact, culminating in a sense of listlessness and depression. Suicide has been observed in redacted handlers. A strange globe that makes you feel depressed. This is the other side where we were fighting off the exploders. Now we can open the door. Before we go any further, we are going to risk the map room. Now, we can afford the charge. And we're close to at least a couple of these abilities, and we already have the second level of charge that we can buy. So let's swap out the charge. And give it extra blast radius. So the charge is not the last form we are going to get. We are not going to get the last form of the gun for quite a while until we go into the DLC. Specifically, the Foundation DLC. So, when you hold down the button, you charge up to 3 shots, then they go towards whatever you're aiming at and explode.
Interesting.
So it's a multi-barrel rocket launcher. The initial blast radius on it is not stellar.
But we just boosted that.
Yeah.
P6 is what the Bureau calls Dylan. His cell's been breached. Has the Hiss found him? Are you there with him? Can you protect him?
And we already checked over here, so let's go ahead and hit that motel light.
Yeah.
That was weird.
Yeah, seems very normal for this place.
Yeah. Hope that door doesn't open.
Our room's upside down.
This room is upside
Or are we upside down?
TV. There you go.
That's cute.
Yeah, get some work done on the roof.
That's good. They need it. All right.
It's been a long time since Dylan and I knew each other. I've wondered about him. What kind of man he'd grow up to be. If things as hard for him as they were for me. Maybe in here, they were even harder.
Also, fair warning, do not dally in these doorways. If any of these fall on you, you will die.
That's fair.
Oh, hello. Is there something I can help you with?
I'm Jessie, the new director. I need to get inside.
New director. Right. Well, okay. Hello, I'm Frederick Langston, the Panopticon supervisor. It's not the best time for a tour. We have hiss everywhere, numerous cell breaches, and system failures across the board, but you're the director, so here we go. Founded by Zachariah Trench, the Panopticon is our state-of-the-art repository for all altered items.
don't have time for
objects
this.
of Power and
I was told Dylan Faden was kept here. Can you help me find him?
Faden. Sure. Darling wanted him somewhere secure and isolated away from people. He's in the maximum security cells, upper level. But there's currently a pressing matter, ma'am. We've got an object of power loose in there. It's wrecking the place. The Benikoff TV, it's a real doozy. Salvador took a team in to handle it, but no one's heard from them for hours. This is a Category 5 OOP we're talking about, and if we don't contain it soon, it will tear the Panopticon apart. And we don't want all those altered items getting loose, ma'am. No, trust me.
Dylan's in there. Open the door, Langston. I'll handle it.
If you say so. I usually tell first-timers not to touch anything, so, just do that. Here, I'll get the door for you. And please, ma'am, call me Fred. Some of the security cameras aren't working. How do I get those fixed? Is the TV back in its box yet? No rush or anything, it's just, you know, an ongoing concern.
Do you like working at the FBC?
Sure. I mean, yeah, the drama's a bit much, but I get better benefits here than I would over at the Postal Service. I checked. Better healthcare. That's not to say I don't like my job, man. I've been here over 15 years. No one knows the Panopticon collection better than me. I'm, close to them, in a way.
I can't tell if that's creepy or normal here. How
Can
do
be
you keep
both.
the altered items under control?
It depends on the item. Each one has different needs. Ritualistic touches go a long way. Singing to them,
Did he say
flipping the
singing?
lights 3 times, that sort of thing. It's not superstition if it works.
What's the difference between objects of power and altered items?
Think of them like storms. Objects of power are like tropical cyclones or hurricanes for the uneducated. They're big, rare, and scary. Of course, directors can just bind the OOP and become the eye of the storm. Altered items are more like weird thunderstorms. Some may rain frogs, some may rain corn, but they all rain something.
And how does the hiss factor into all that?
It's changing them, making them aggressive. Now they're all raining, I don't know, knives. Knife rain.
Knife rain.
Nice metaphor. Did you work closely with Trench?
Oh, he spent most of his time with Darling and all them. The inner circle. Not that I care.
Trench certainly had his favorites.
He did stop in occasionally to scowl and smoke. Did you know the Bureau has a no smoking policy? It does. Just not for Trench. Still, he is the one who put aside funding.
I feel like everybody knows a Langston at their
The
job.
man did have vision.
How did you get this job?
Started as a junior agent because my uncle knew a guy. From there I got put on a desk until an accident left the containment sector severely understaffed. At which point I got bumped up to management. Put in a steady 8 hours a day for another 10 years and voila, supervisor.
I just picked up a gun. Or a gun picked me.
Alright, well, good to meet you, Langston.
I'll see you later, Langston.
I'll be here.
You are
like always.
corporate weirdo made manifest.
The Panopticon. Dylan's close.
Panopticon.
But that object of power might wreck this
Panopticon.
place before I find him.
Map this place.
I feel like this place exists because they like the word panopticon.
Panopticon.
It's a fun word.
So this entire room is honeycombed with places we can't get to until we get higher movement text. Like I keep coming back here on my kept coming back here on my previous playthrough and would see a new place that I could get to that I just never noticed before. It's a very interesting room, but you gotta like really scour it to figure out where everything is.
Hey, the mailbox.
Mailbox.
I'm sure it's fine.
It's fine. Just paralyzes people.
A picnic basket.
Don't tell Yogi.
Of sin.
A fan.
Of sin.
This one has the property where if it's on and you talk into it, your voice sounds funny.
Oh.
That's just a fan. That's a mallet.
That's a mallet.
Of sin.
Don't let Eustace know where it is.
Something went wrong with the Bureau's plan to make Dylan the next director. Marshall made it sound like it was all Dylan's fault, but
you.
Hi.
Hi.
You realize the moment I'm able to, I'm just gonna throw something in your general direction. You will die.
No, I don't deserve to die. I'm just floating here harmlessly.
Well, technically correct. You have to find him.
Hold on, Philip. Hold on, Philip. I'm gonna come back to you in just a second. I gotta touch the thing.
Grass has been touched.
There was no grass there.
What are you doing in there?
It's metaphorical grass.
Look, someone has to watch this object at all times, or it deviates. My shift replacement never showed up. Can you help me?
Damn. I can't. I'm sorry. There's an emergency. I'll come back. I promise.
Course emergency. I have to go to the bathroom.
Don't forget, I can't stare at this thing much longer.
Yeah. So after we find Dylan, we can help this guy out. For reference, watching means this man has not blinked since the hiss showed up.
Huh. That is commendable because that's actually not something you can fully control.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's blinked.
The game would have us believe no.
Well, the game doesn't understand how the human body works.
The game doesn't say he's not allowed to blink, he just has to watch it.
No. There is a specific thing that will happen later, which is it's blinking.
That's fine. That is the game not understanding how the human body works. You can only resist blinking so long. Your body will eventually say, no, we are moistening our eyes.
I am
Fuck
gonna
you."
guess that because he was specifically given the task of fridge duty, and because this is a known thing, that they have
He
some
and his
way
theori-
of, like,
You say
another
he and his
alternate.
theoretical replacement? Okay, if they have an alternate item that allows you to do it, I guess.
Like, they never mention
But-
an alternate item, is the thing.
I mean, they also never mention him not blinking either, so...
I'm assuming that's something that comes up later, but I will once again point out that means they do not understand how the human body works in regards to blinking. It is, literally, after a point, something that you cannot control.
I mean,
Well,
if he did manage to sit there for 20-some odd hours not blinking, he wouldn't be able to see it anymore because his eyes would cease function.
Correct. Which is one of the reasons why the body has a built-in mechanism to say, no, we blink now.
Alright.
Like,
Okay.
if
But
he's
what if you
clockwork
just-
oranging it, he's not seeing anything anymore.
But what if you just wink?
That's true. You could do that. If he is altering which eye is blinking manually, that would get around it.
And meanwhile, a TV is burrowing its way through the bureau.
See, Hoovians, we found a workaround.
Enter the MC Escher room.
Okay. I don't like this fight.
Gee, I can't imagine why. That looks like a lot of bodies. That seem to be
Yeah, that one just phased
untargetable while they're
through.
floating.
That was them not letting me get a cheap shot in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is something I'm not a fan of. If a game doesn't let me take advantage of my observation skills, like I clearly saw they were there, let me get a cheap shot in.
In fairness, the word skill does not apply to that. If you saw him hiding around a corner, that'd be one thing. He was
Floating person in the middle of the room is not hiding.
Yeah.
I didn't say it required high observation skills. I just said look, this person could be alternating which eye is blinking back and forth and is not exactly getting a good peripheral of anything off of dead center.
So this is what makes the thing annoying, and this is the first real area where the save system comes up against you.
Yeah, that's a lot to have to go running through to get that.
Yeah, it's a lot to go running through to get to it, and there's always a chance that someone's going to spawn on that walkway, so you have to do a fight before you get to the Benikoff TV area.
I recommend not losing the fight.
Yep.
It's good advice. We should take it.
Sound advice there, soldier.
Have you tried not dying?
So I know
By
he's
the way-
I know he's immune. Have they? Did they actually do the same for his peripherals?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they don't let you cheese the fight from outside.
Until
I mean-
he drops, everybody else is immune. Now, the moment
Which
he
is like-
touches ground, like you see, we got a free shot.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just of the opinion of just let that happen from the beginning, and the first hit you do on them just starts the fight. Oh no, are you standing up in that area? He does something that draws you into the arena against your will. But don't make him just immune to it.
Yeah, he has a glowy thing.
Don't
It's
try
fine.
cheese fights.
Yeah. I cannot
Yeah, I
in good
don't- I
conscience
don't
agree
get-
with don't try and cheese fights, but
Like I say, see, the thing is, I don't consider that cheesing the fight. I consider that as just starting it with that attack. It's not like you're trying to go for something that makes it so they can't ever hit you. Like I said, if you're up in that upper area where he was in the first place, have some type of pull effect that draws you into the arena. Heck, make it kind of penalize you for starting the fight from up there, in that you are slightly stunned when you're drawn in. Like, there are ways to do it that don't involve, yeah, no, you just can't hit him. Like, things go through him until you're at the correct trigger point.
Yeah, he has a funky red aura. Deal with
Yeah.
it.
Okay, there we go.
Thing was Salvador, the head of security.
And yeah,
This team didn't stand a chance against the Hiss.
we have been hearing about him for quite a while, but that was Salvador, whose team's last action was to come in here and try and
Okay.
cleanse the Benikoff TV.
Another object of power going nuts.
But now we've got an anchor supplement.
Ah.
Ocelot's Anchor, AI-11-UE. The crew of the White Ocelot first encountered a strange spherical phenomenon while fishing in the Redacted. Witnesses describe it as a black sphere with faint light behind it. It hovered just off the bow of the ship. The crew, Redacted, by throwing a tin bucket which disappeared into the sphere. Soon after, the vessel lost structural integrity. The ship's metal rusted and fell apart within minutes. As the ship sank, the sphere lowered into the water. A passing fishing vessel called the Redacted rescued the 4 surviving crew. Agents were dispatched to the White Ocelot's last known coordinates, Redacted, and began diving operations. On the ocean floor, the agents found the sphere. The ship was entirely destroyed except for its anchor. As agents lifted the anchor off the ocean floor, they noticed the sphere behaved in conjunction with the anchor, moving and stopping as one. Contact with the sphere was avoided, but handling the anchor proved harmless. The item was transported by the Redacted to the U.S. port of Redacted. Upon arriving in New York, it was brought into the Bureau via the Redacted.
That's neat.
Here we go again.
Yeah, so an anchor with a quantum attached sphere.
Yep.
Quantum attached sphere that decays and rusts things around it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Use the TV babysitter. Levitate superhero over the obstacle. I do genuinely love the turns of phrase that the board of directors use sometimes.
Ah, with the power to levitate.
Yes, we now have the power of flight.
That's pretty cool.
So, flight can be used in conjunction with dash. You have a set amount of levitate before you forcibly drop. However, you can turn it on and off again in order to conserve your levitate power. So, like if you're falling from a great height, you can fall most of the way, use the last little bit of your levitate power.
Okay, so there is fall damage.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's absolutely fall damage in this game.
I know there's some games that, like, when they give you that type of ability, that if you are falling from that use of that ability, they would negate that fall damage, but otherwise have fall damage still be an issue. But not this game. Okay.
No, but it does look like fall damage is fairly forgiving.
Fall damage is very forgiving up until a certain point where fall damage becomes as...
Fair enough.
Figuring out where that line is a little tricky.
I do wish there was a meter to track your levitation.
Yeah, I wish there was a meter of levitation power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a limited amount of levitation you have?
There is. If you levitate for too long, you will forcibly drop.
Okay, dealt with the TV. Now I can find Dylan.
Tilt the TV.
Now we can Magneto around the place.
We can Magneto around the place, and practically every secret in the game is now available to us. Because
Nice.
a
That
good
makes sense.
80% of the secrets in this game, of like the little hidden nooks and crannies, Metroidvania style, are hidden away in places you can't double jump to. Ah! There you are.
They exploded.
And defeat.
Ah, things over there. It's like they want you to use the levitate power or something.
Yeah. Why would you think that?
But you have to use the levitate power to get out of this room.
Makes sense. I have a question about potential future games. We played through Prototype. Was there ever a plan to play through Prototype 2?
I have not played through Prototype 2, so I would have to do a playthrough of it before I figured out whether or not I'm...
You know, you are allowed to play games blind on.
I know.
Yeah. Vast majority of games I play on stream are blind. Or semi-blind.
You know, that might be our Halloween game for this year. Halloween last year was Prototype 1. We might
That
do-
wasn't last year.
Was it?
No.
Oh my god.
We did Prototype 1 before I was in the hospital. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago.
My god. Alright then.
In fact, I'm pretty sure we didn't have a Halloween game last year.
Well, fair enough.
Or if we did, we were playing a game and it happened to be Halloween.
Yeah, I think that was honestly the case for that.
That will never not be funny.
We played the Prototype games more than 2 years.
Okay then. I see you.
Besides, there are certain things I would love to actually see a reaction to in Prototype 2. Because I have played it.
Oh yeah.
I have played it, and I raged against the fact that they included content that required you to have bought a new version if you were playing it used or renting it from, like, say, GameFly, which is how I played it, you were required to pay an additional $10 to access content.
Ah, that thing they tried briefly.
Uh-huh.
A birthday or a get well soon balloon.
That is probably one of the most dangerous items.
Like I say, if SCP has taught me anything, the more innocent-looking something is, the more dangerous it is.
We've heard about
Also,
this one.
I remember that.
The Swan
Yep.
Boat. Of Sin. The water cooler. Of damnation.
Crowbar.
Gordon
Oh,
Freeman!
Do you have your passport?
You know, I bet Jesse doesn't have it. Say
There's
that
nothing
right
actually
now.
special about a crowbar. They just left one in there, and everyone just assumes it's an altered item.
It was actually a tool someone used to break in there to steal an altered item, and they just left their crowbar instead.
Well, that was an idea you guys had.
Hello. Can you hear me?
I do not think the personnel were protected.
Jesse.
Hold on, I'm loading. Stoy looting.
Are you there, Jesse?
Emily? He's gone. Dylan isn't here. He might be nearby. Or maybe the hiss got to him. I don't know.
Jesse, listen. Dylan's here. With us. He just walked in. He says he is giving himself up. He's been affected by the hiss, but he is different than the others. We must isolate him.
I'm on my way. We need to get back. I have to see my brother.
Can't get into level 6 yet. Dylan Faden, observation. 9:30 a.m., breakfast is brought. 11:54 a.m., gets out of bed, uses toilet, returns to bed. 11:57 a.m., asks for television to be turned on. Staff do so. 12 p.m., lunch is brought, breakfast is removed. 12:02 p.m., eats lunch. 2:38 p.m., uses toilet. 4:03 p.m., begins talking to self. Recording speech is not possible due to noise from television. 4:07 p.m., becomes upset. Throws lunch tray at glass. 4:09 p.m., sedated. Crew clean the cell. Television is turned off. 6:12 p.m., comes to. Asks for television to be turned on. Staff refuse. 6:16 p.m., sleeps. Question mark? Television privileges were refused due to hostile behavior. So before we go back to the central area, just gonna have a look around this place.
Seems like tons of little nooks and crannies you can get to now that you can fly.
Yep. Like up there.
Yep.
Hey, you got the C's accelerator. And there are some places, conversely, that are just like walled off and
Yeah, because they don't want you
invisible
just like.
Well, yeah. They haven't. More like they haven't built this area. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they don't want people using the stuff to get out of bounds.
Yeah.
at least not that easily.
Yep. Oh, I'm pretty sure the tricks to getting out of bounds don't even involve that power.
You know, I've never really tried to get out of bounds before.
I've only successfully done it in one game, and that is at the very beginning of the Prey game that they put out. And I mean like very beginning, before they take you to the one building.
This is math.
Hi, we'll be back.
Yep.
We're making our way back now. However, can we... Yeah, now we can go assist Dylan. Or not Dylan, but Patrick. On the 4th floor of the Panopticon. With the forklift. That's towards the Benikoff TV room, so over here is where we go. We are going to touch the... Oh, and we have 8 ability points. You know what that means. Unlimited power. So this upgrade is twofold. 1, we can hold and launch up to 3 objects now. And 2, when we're holding launch objects, our energy recharges.
So we can just plain hold the button and have like 3 pieces of ammo.
Yes.
Yep.
And because we got that upgrade, we now have enough for a 3rd slot.
Ah.
Which we are going to put towards energy recovery speed. We now recharge energy,
Keep them open. Hope. Hope. Hope.
Hey, what can I do?
Oh, you're back. Oh, thank you. Thank you. If I look away, I don't know what this thing will do. You have to get me out of here. The door can only be opened by the Panopticon supervisor. That's Langston, if he's still around.
Langston. Yeah, I know him. I'll go ask him how to get you out.
Please hurry. My eyes. They can't.
Hey, calm down. Just focus. What's your name?
Focus. Right. My name's Philip, and I think I can hold on for a bit. It's just my eyes. My eyes hurt so much.
Just hang on, Philip.
Yeah, Patrick has not blinked.
I'm back.
Welcome back. We're helping Patrick now.
Yay!
I see we've renamed him.
Fuck off. Oh, and And there's a healer somewhere. Fantastic. There we go. I'm trying to remember what the command was for holding multiple things.
Ah.
Once you have held one thing, it is right click to launch the remainder.
Ah.
Or to pick up the remainder of stuff. Save zone. Oh. I'm gonna check on astral constructs. Enough for an upgrade. Yes, we can get the second level of charge.
Charge.
Does that give us another shot?
No, it gives us another slot for.
Oh, okay.
weapons.
Do we have another? Oh, we do. Nice.
Ammo cost while levitating. We'll take damage on low health for the moment. Replace it with something better. Unfortunately, the number of things that can go on charge is limited.
That's fair.
Numerous cell breaches. Is his...
There's someone named Philip up in a cell. He's watching a refrigerator and very rapidly losing it.
Philip? Oh shit, I forgot about fridge duty. He's been in there for over a day, I totally forgot.
You forgot about him?
There's a lot going on. The hit,
That's fair.
Benikoff TV? Considering the number of things I'm juggling, ma'am, I think it's...
Listen, it's fine. We just need to get him out of there. He said you'd be able to open the cell door?
Yeah, I can unlock it on my terminal. There. Done. Door open. But Philip can't just leave. The fridge is behaving erratically. Ocular contact is the only thing that seems to placate it. If we don't have someone in there watching it 24/7, people will die.
I'll figure something out. I'm pretty good with these things.
Being pretty good with altered items isn't standard Bureau procedure, ma'am.
He doesn't know us very well.
Alright, thank you. I gotta go see Philip.
I'll be here, like always.
We're gonna put a camera on it until someone's watching it 24/7.
Philip, I'm coming.
Phrasing.
And I'm glad none of these platforms are unstable and rickety. I'm coming, Philip!
Hello? Jesse?
I'm back. I'm coming in.
Thank you. Oh, thank you, thank you.
Alright, arrived just in time.
Jesse? The fridge is doing something!
Philip?
Did he blink?
Hey, employee incident. Employee named Philip Filson. Employee position, junior agent. Incident, violent behavior. Incident in question occurred on Redacted and was brought to HR department's attention by the internal security personnel who intervened. According to reports supported by security camera footage, Agent Filson entered the staff kitchen with the intention of consuming his private meal, a homemade sandwich cut diagonally and packed in a plastic container, but discovered the refrigerator had redacted, his meal. Agent Filson began to kick the Bureau-owned appliance as he expressed his frustration in a loud and profane manner. This behavior caused multiple staff members present to become alarmed. Security was alerted soon after. Filson complied with security's commands to desist. Agent Filson was reprimanded and suspended for the remainder of the ongoing work week. The review committee recommends one non-mandatory counseling session. He's got a bad history with fridges.
To be fair, there's an implication that the fridge ate his food.
Well, there's an implication right now that the fridge ate him.
Yep.
Yes. Oh, this is different.
Yeah.
This sounds like the board, but I can't understand it.
Great googly moogly!
Well,
Okay, so
Apparently-
this is the former.
Not the former, just former.
When do we get to see the ladder?
It's outside the motel right now.
yep.
Ladder isn't clean. That's how
I said ladder, not ladder.
Oh
Close
god.
enough.
Oh god, it's part spider. Okay, so, we have a limited amount of floor space.
And shrinking.
And shrinking, yes. The whole gimmick of this fight is that, the floor space in this area is rapidly dwindling and every strike breaks it. You are also breaking it if you grab pieces that aren't already broken off.
Ow.
Oof.
It also apparently throws black balls at you.
Well, it's been throwing black balls. It's just now it's throwing more of them.
This is why we touch all the
Hello?
save points.
Jesse?
That's fair.
Hey, look! Philip's alright again.
I'm coming in.
Thank you.
God, I hope nothing bad happens to Philip.
The fridge is doing something!
Fuck you, fridge.
Oh, Philip's dead again.
Bad fridge.
Look away. It hurts me.
Yeah, nice little touch. Once you enter that room, if anything breaks line of sight, even partially with the fridge, you get hurt.
Sounds like the board, but I can't understand it. Fuck?
Hi, buddy. Now, because we have the max rank telekinesis,
Yeah. Grab 3, I think. Just whale the shit out of it.
there we go.
We can also just throw its own black orbs at itself.
Yes.
There's no black pyramid here.
And that was the former. The former is going to come back in a much bigger way in
fridge
the
seems
Foundation
fixed.
DLC.
Did fighting that thing off change something?
Yeah, we actually got a call about them.
Ah.
in this torn again. Yes. So, as of regular control, we don't know a lot about the former. Everything we know about them comes from that conversation. They are apparently an offshoot, or at the very least, from a similar origin as the Board, and they are taking items of power and altered items for their own use.
This is Lynn Salvador, head of Bureau Security. I'm making a formal security order due to the incident in April. Case number...
Oh no, this was the two people who went to the jukebox and used it to bang on campus and died. Stop using the jukebox for secret rendezvous.
Bang bar.
Well, we tried.
Nothing can be done.
God bless, Philip. I'm just gonna use the fast travel. Fast travel! We will come back here a couple times and we will more thoroughly explore all those
You
crimes.
guys didn't bring, like, checkers or anything, did you?
Any active duty security personnel found engaging in non-sanctioned leisure activities will be relieved of duty pending review, sir.
You could have just said no. How'd it go? Where's Philip?
Philip's gone. Something happened before I could get him out.
Poor Philip. He never did like fridge duty.
Yeah, I can't imagine why.
Then who's watching the fridge?
The fridge is fine now. I took care of it.
You don't just take care of altered items. What did you do?
I touched it and wound up in the astral plane. This thing was in there. It was huge, had one big eye. Wasn't friendly.
We've been getting reports from the astronauts lately about something fitting that description. The astral plane is usually connected to our world through objects of power, not altered items. If this thing is linking itself to altered items, then it's clearly powerful. This may happen again.
Do you think that thing is what got Philip?
Must have been. The Panopticon is a dangerous place. The agents all know the risks. But, since you're some sort of altered item whisperer, I've got a list of others for you to corral. The Hiss are causing containment breaches left, right, and center. Here, start with these. I'll see if there are any others missing while you're gone. My life just got a whole lot easier.
Okay.
I'll see you later, Langston.
I'll be here, as always.
Leave. There we go. Containment procedure. No unique procedures required. An Arctic Queen brand electric refrigerator model from the 1960s. No cooling functionality. The door is decorated with crayon illustrations by Redacted. The illustrations cannot be removed from the item. All attempts have failed. The paper cannot be burned or torn. The item first came to the Bureau's attention after it survived the collapse of New York City's Grand Central Hotel, where it serves as an appliance apartment, Redacted, rented by a man named Redacted. It became the subject of local infamy after surviving the building's collapse undamaged. Mr. Redacted, who was out of the building at the time of the collapse, Redacted PM, retained ownership of the item until 1974, when the Bureau purchased the item through a false identity. New altered effect has been observed. See file AI-10-F for details. See file AI-10-K for new containment procedures. The Benikoff TV. No unique containment procedures required while bound. A CRT television built by Benikoff & Sons Electronics. The screen is still functional. The object can levitate itself off the ground to a maximum observed altitude of Redacted. When bound, the object allows para-utilitarians to harness the effect for their own use. See report Redacted for the results tested with prime candidate Redacted. The object is currently bound by Redacted. The object was first discovered in a local news story from Redacted, Kansas. A figure had been seen redacted over buildings. The Bureau dispatched agents to the town, who discovered that a man named Redacted had bound himself to the object. Mr. Redacted was detained. See case 39-HQ-656, and the object was brought to the Bureau for study. And this is the Paper Lantern, which is one of the side quests we've gotten from Langston he was talking about. The Ramen Lantern, AI-69-KE. The lantern was discovered at a street-side ramen shop in Tokyo, Japan, named Redacted. The shop gained immense popularity due to this item, the shining beacon hanging in its doorway. A visiting documentarian was similarly enthralled by the crimson luster of the lantern, and helped it find international acclaim through a television series highlighting the world's finest restaurants. Audiences interested in the lantern brought it to the attention of the Bureau, and soon the lantern found its way here, to us. I write this as I sit beside the very item. Its light is so comforting, so familiar. It reminds me of summer nights when I was a boy. The sun setting, the air warm, the chittering song of the evening insects. The lantern knows we all want to feel safe, and at home, secure in the knowledge that the world won't change, and neither will we. We'll be young and happy forever, here in its glow. Appendix. The author of this document was detained shortly after this case file was distributed. Individual handling of the item is now prohibited. Information in this document may be compromised by the author's obvious infatuation with the item.
I better not get blamed for this mess in the next performance review. I have a cat to feed.
Shush.
Is he totally blaming him for that?
Let me check one more thing real quick. Oh yeah, just Salvador's ID.
Yeah.
Should never been accessible to low-cleared staff in the first place. That's the quote you're going out on, Salvador.
I mean, he's not wrong.
He is not wrong. So, get out here. We're going to immediately notice the hole. Whee! Boxes. So yeah, we have a mission called Langston's Runaways now, which involves finding 4 objects of power across the facility. There's no real time limit on this, but there's at least one of these that we don't get until very late in the game. So it's kind of a long-form mission they just drop on you here.
Yeah.
Alright, who's spawning? Yep. Knew we
Yeah.
were getting through this room without a fight. I'm going through the things. Don't stop me.
Do
I've
it.
gone around these. Now, before we go back, because we've unlocked even more Astral Construct stuff now. A couple of level 3s.
Yep.
However,
And we still need parts for them. And the basic money.
yeah, we still need basic money and parts for them, but they are available. So now, that these clearance level 9 doors are open, and we have the levitate power, we can finally go and take care of the anchor while we're here. Shadows. That's just kind of nasty down there. have ability points to freely spend now. Actually gonna go grab some shield upgrades. Specifically, I want to get enough points to get shield propels debris, because when you're fighting those invisible guys that you have to pull up the shield for, it becomes a really effective counter to them.
Makes sense. Being able to fling part of your shield at them definitely helps if you're relying on your shield.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the safe room Wells showed me. The one with the altered item inside.
Sealed Threshold account. Threshold with effect redacted manifests in the containment sector in the middle of the redacted department. Simultaneously, numerous redacted appeared in the area, injuring and killing many redacted. After rescue operations were completed and redacted, Rangers were sent in to discover the Threshold's epicenter. The sheer amount of redacted made the expedition impossible. The area was sealed off after removing the clocks proved an impossible task. If you weren't gonna censor that entry of clocks, why would you not censor? Why would you censor the rest? The area was sealed off after removing the clocks proved an impossible task. The department was relocated, and the area abandoned. Researchers theorized the Threshold introduced unstable matter to our dimension, which adopted the form of the redacted, as redacted would introduce to more stable redacted.
I think we've been. Yeah, go ahead.
Refer to file 9-51-3981 for full report.
I think we've gone over how the censorship makes literally no sense.
Yes.
Yep.
Great. More clocks.
Behold, an anchor.
Yeah.
Welcome to the clock.
Well.
What the fuck is that?
Apparently, it's the anchor. More question: what do you hit?
So when it opens up in a given direction, because there's 4 directions it can open up in.
Ah, there we go.
You gotta hit it, and then you gotta move.
Yep, gotta smack the glowy spot. It's a Capcom game.
Oh god. It anticipated me. Oh god.
Ah. Sally was screaming.
One of those invisible guys I was talking about.
Ah. Those apparently add to this fight.
The fuck is that?
Through that platform. Yeah, there's the screaming.
Aha! I winged it.
So the other side.
Yep.
There's some dudes doing dude things. Technically being health.
And there we go.
That must be the altered item.
Yeah, that sure is an anchor.
That sure is, in fact, an anchor. And the angry ball that is attached to it.
There.
Okay.
No wonder the Rangers had such a hard time with that one.
Anchor procedures. Blackrock paneling successfully prevents manifestation of the sphere. A Trotman-style anchor made of iron with a wooden stock. Surface is rusted in places. Weighs 3,789 pounds.
About to say.
The item generates a persistent blank sphere, the purpose of which is currently unknown. The sphere is always generated at a precise point in relation to the item, specifically redacted horizontal feet and redacted vertical feet from the redacted of the anchor. Appendix 425, 1983. Redacted, Ranger First Class was dropped into the sphere wearing a diving suit with dedicated oxygen line at redacted AM EST. After 10 minutes and 13 seconds inside the sphere, Redacted's oxygen line was cut at the sphere's border by an unseen force. All agents in the room during Redacted's entry into the sphere experienced vomiting, vertigo, and loss of fingernails within an hour of one another. Ranger Redacted has been declared MIA, presumed dead. Alright. And hey, we got that ability I was talking about.
Yep.
Shield repels debris. And then we're going to work on getting C's down to the point where I can seize large enemies. Okay. And now we can finally fast travel back to Central Executive.
The resonance emitted from the HRAs is purely antithetical to every variant of the Higgs signal I can arrange. But how did Darling create it?
Timeline of events. To examine the invasion's timeline of events for possible patterns in Hiss behavior. Establishing a timeline is difficult at present because of the lack of reliable communications between Bureau sectors and staff. Preliminary models indicate ground zero of the invasion is located within the executive sector. Once it becomes possible to interview surviving personnel, pinpointing the exact location should be feasible. Other outstanding questions that a timeline may help answer. How did the Hiss get past the internal lockdown? How does Hiss resonance advance through space, deliberately or uniformly? What is their ultimate goal? The outside world? A cross-dimensional destination? Refer to Redacted for full report.
It's happening. After all these years, Dylan is here. But am I too late?
How is he? I need to know. He's clearly been affected by the Hiss, but it's different than any other manifestation we've recorded. Maybe what makes you so special is genetic. He was a prime candidate. Or maybe it's Polaris protecting him, something else affecting the situation. I need to run tests. He seems more in control,
You
more
said it.
present. I want to see him.
My brother. Or is he?
Of course. Now, Marshall set up an HRA-warded cage to contain him. It's on the upper floor, up the stairs. Okay, I need to go. Jesse, be careful.
You have any things to talk about? I know my brother's here, and I've been waiting to
Hi,
see him my
Jesse.
entire life, but... No. No, you do not.
I should be going. Enjoy your data. Oh, I will.
Woo! Phasing through the chair!
Physics is hard.
Oh my god, did she have to write everything in made up gibberish code? Fucking Marshall.
There we go.
Spy shit, God.
I found this token. Any idea what it does?
Ah, that is a jukebox token. Little bastards turn up in the weirdest places, like bad pennies. The Rangers use them to activate an old object of power.
A jukebox, I assume. Does it have any good songs?
Nope, just the one record. Hey, be careful turning it on, though. When it's playing, you get a free trip to the formation.
The formation? That sounds ominous.
Why does it send you there?
The Bureau has been wondering that for years. I mean, it's just a pile of rocks built by God knows who, but... Well, researchers have confirmed it's in the same threshold as the quarry. No one's ever been able to map a physical route to the formation from maintenance.
So it's in the quarry. You just don't know where.
Pretty much. We only send in annual expeditions to the formation now. Checkups, Salvador calls them. This year's team went in the day the Hiss arrived. Come to think of it, the song should have blown back hours ago.
I can go in and take a look.
I'd appreciate that. The jukebox is kept just past the security booth over there. Just put in the token and enjoy the ride.
What's the deal with Blackrock?
Oh, fuck. Don't get me started on BlackRock. You know, ever since research found out that it blocks paranatural stuff, they have just been parading dangerous materials in and out of the fucking quarry. Fucking lab coats, man. Look, making my job harder.
Sounds like there's some tension between departments.
Still, at least the quarry's got a good view of the night sky. You know, me and Salvador used to have after-work beers down there.
What do you know about Dr. Darling?
About as much as anybody, I guess. Head of research, loves to hear himself talk. All of those science types absolutely do. Now he's been acting a little bit psycho recently. Although HR told me not to use that word.
Everyone thinks finding Darling will lead us to the answers. But if he's completely lost it, then what help could he be?
You're security, right? Do you work with Rangers?
Not often. Rangers are specially trained in threshold reconnaissance and ground zero AWE response. Security is more interested in the dangers inside the Bureau.
They must see some weird stuff out there.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, every week they are tackling things that were previously unknown to the human experience. Most Rangers, they retire due to cognitive collapse. I looked up the medical definition. Not fun.
How does the Bureau handle thresholds?
Handle might be a bit of an optimistic way to put it. Marshall sends her Rangers in to map them, check growth rates, locate epicenters, take samples, measure stuff, basically.
Sounds like he's done his homework.
Now, down in maintenance, thresholds are used just like any other tool. Lab coats mine Blackrock from one, maintenance siphons water from another. We use it for pretty much everything, except drinking.
Why don't you drink it?
Do I even want to know?
Yeah, a lot of time we find these little chunks in it. It's pretty gross.
I didn't want to know.
The clock!
What do you think of Marshall?
Marshall? Marshall's a fucking badass. Rangers could not ask for a better leader. She's a little, you know, intense, but given the stuff she's seen, I'm not surprised. She does have a bad habit of disappearing, though.
Where does she go?
Last time she vanished, I did some digging into the security logs. I found camera footage of her entering the quarry. She was down there alone for days. Now, typically that's not allowed, but Marshall is kind of above the rules.
I wonder what she finds so interesting in the quarry.
I have to go.
Oh, that was all very interesting.
You're not the only one who's busy, you know.
I think technically we'd have done that conversation at a number of times. Television proposal. Yeah, here we go. We actually talked about this earlier.
Yep.
Based on the success of America Overnight, we'd like to propose the creation of a television series that presents superstition and skeptical thought as entertainment, in order to popularize these concepts among the civilian population, create less resistance to redirecting information regarding public paranatural events. We can also use a solid media outlet to test paranatural concepts on civilian audiences, seeing how they react to certain facts presented as fiction, in the event that the Bureau ever decides to make certain realities public knowledge. There are various show licenses that we can purchase and reboot rather than starting from scratch. One particular property seems promising, especially considering its content and tone are precisely what we're looking for. It's called Night Springs, and has been off the air for a few years now. Alright, we're going to talk to Dylan, trigger his stuff, and then we are going to go have the talk about the jukebox. So we just unlocked the ability to do that.
You are a worm through time. The thunder's hum distorts you. Happiness comes, white pearls, but yellow and red in the eye. Through a mirror inverted is made right. Leave your insides by the door. Push the fingers through the surface into the wet. You've always been a near you. You walk as the control. We stand around you while you dream. You can almost hear our words, but you forget. Through time, the thunder's hum distorts you. Happiness comes. You are a worm through time.
Shit.
The thunder's hum distorts you.
That's Dylan.
White pearls,
Can
but
you hear
yellow and
me?
red in the eye.
Oh, come on, Dylan. I'm here. I found you.
You've always been near you. You walk as the control.
Do you know who I am? Oh, you know me. Say it.
You are Dylan Faden's sister.
He's talking in the third person. Always a good sign. Do you know who you are?
Not Dylan. Trench and Darling made sure of that. I'm P6. P6. But I'm better now. The hiss made me better. Push the fingers through the surface into the wet. You've always been the new you. You want this
Can you
to be
stop that?
true.
Please? Not exactly the reunion I'd hoped for.
It feels good to say those words. I want to say them. They sound good. They make me feel good. Don't you want to say them too?
No. Fuck off, no. You need to help me get this thing out of his head. If he is still in there, if there is anything left, you have to help me.
You! You came in through the hole in you! We let you in, you've always been here! The only true! A copy of a copy of a copy of a copy!
Stop it!
Orange peel!
Shit! Shit!
I need scissors.
I see you.
61.
This is not safe.
We found Polaris together with my sister when we were very small, in Ordinary, in the desert, through the door opened up by the slide projector. But she didn't help when Trench took me away. She didn't give me any powers. All the powers are my own powers. She didn't help when they locked me up for years. After the song time for applause, we build you till nothing remains. The air cracks and the truth will emerge out of you. You are home. The Bureau brought the slide projector back here with me. And the Bureau did what the Bureau does. They used it. And they found. They opened the door up to the hiss. That's the only thing I can thank them for.
There it is. We stopped the Altered World event in Ordinary when we shut down the slide projector. And now the projector's here.
An earworm is a tune you can't stop humming in a dream. Baby, 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 yeah. Just plastic. So safe. Nothing to worry about. welcomed the hiss. I let it in. To get rid of her. The hiss set me free. Polaris is using you. The Bureau is using you. You are a puppet. You can almost hear our words, but you forget.
If we shut off the slide projector, maybe that will stop the hiss.
Regulations.
Maybe it's not too late for my brother.
You must see the truth for yourself, Jesse. Sister. The horrible truth about the Bureau. The hiss is the better option. Go to the
no.
program in the containment sector.
Hmm.
I have the keycard to get you there. Salvador wanted me to have it.
Wanted? Bullshit. I saw what the hiss did to Salvador. What it turned him into.
Okay, Dylan. I'll go. I want to see the truth for myself.
I'll go. But only to look for the slide projector. You can help me. We can end this.
All right. We've got clearance level 6. Do not ask how we got that out from the containment cell there.
I don't know what else I'm hoping to find here.
Dylan. Can we talk?
I'd like to tell you about a dream I had last night.
Off to a good start.
Okay. I'm listening.
The death of all humanity.
I was back in Ordinary.
Okay, not a great start.
Before all of this happened. But in the dream, I was alone. It was just me. I was the only child. A girl. My name was Jesse Dylan Faden. But then the Bureau came and caught me, brought me back here, locked me up. Have you ever noticed that our names, Jesse, Dylan, they could be girls' names, boys' names, could be anything.
I'm pretty sure Dylan is not a typical girl's name.
I find that weird.
No, I've known girls named Dylan.
Huh.
The hell was that? Is he trying to mess with me?
You are a worm through time. The thunder sun distorts you. Happiness comes. White pearls, the yellow and red neon. Through a mirror, the inverted is near.
Maybe Dylan's still in there. Maybe there's a way to reach him.
I'd like to talk to my brother, please. Dylan?
Dylan would like to tell you about a dream he had just now.
This again?
I was going to be the new director of this place. I helped you get a job here, so that we could be together. You were an office assistant. You'd make coffee and deliver the mail, and there was always plenty of work to do. And it stayed that way, forever and ever. It was nice. Really nice.
That's debatable.
But here's the strange thing. The dream shifted, and none of it was real anymore. It was a game. We were in a game, and it was a fucking boring game. But you couldn't stop.
Director commentary.
And then it shifted again. Or maybe it was another dream already. Or maybe I'm just confusing them. But in this other dream, it was more like a musical. This is an ordinary song about an ordinary girl from an ordinary town. It's the ordinary story. She worked an ordinary job in an ordinary office. Something. And that's all I can remember of that dream.
Maybe that's for the best.
All right, we'll hear more from Dylan in his magnificent dreams later. Alright. We've been dancing around it for a long-ass time. It's finally time to talk about the jukebox. And why some games don't need to be a live service. So, the jukebox has 3 tiers. Each tier costs more jukebox tokens than the previous one does. You can craft jukebox tokens at control points, or you can find jukebox tokens as rewards for those random missions that keep popping up. They didn't reward them before now, but going forward, those missions will spawn sometimes with jukebox tokens as a reward.
Okay.
You have to beat tier 1 to get to tier 2. You have to beat tier 2 to get to tier 3. Each tier grants higher rewards, and there is a custom outfit for getting to tier 3 and beating it. So, we're going to real quick go into here. This availability timer is on a real-world timer. We have 59 minutes from now to beat this expedition, and there's a custom modifier on here. Tier 2 and 3 have additional modifiers that it lays on you. These can be random. These can be benign things, like, pierce damage is lowered. We don't really use pierce, so that doesn't affect us. It could be things like you regenerate energy 75% slower, or things like that. So, the formation consists of 4 separate combat moves that you do in any order. We don't have to go to this one first, we can go to one of the others. And you only win this tier if you beat all 4 in one go. If you die, progress is reset. If you fail a challenge, because there's some of these challenges are like keep a guy alive, you lose progress. And given how lethal and swingy combat in this game is, it is very easy for you to just die to a random stray shot. Now, the rewards you get are not commiserate with the level you do this on. We get crafting rewards and mods for Jesse and for Jesse's weapons for beating the entire formation. However, this tier 1 is only going to give us rares, the level 2 versions of the mods. And we've just been chucking level 2 versions because we're getting level 4s at this point, level 5s. So there is 0 point to doing the jukebox. Unless you are really hankering to grind for equipment. And even then, because the death toll is still active in the formation, if we die here, we lose 10% of our money. Stay in this. So yeah, luckily, the jukebox is not required. There's no quest that forces you to do it, even a side quest. It is solely an extra thing you can do.
It's actually DLC, part of it.
What was that?
It's actually DLC. It wasn't even part of the original game.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh. Well, never mind then. It takes a lot of wind out of my sails. I assumed this was part of the main game, and it was just some kind of, like, come back and play kind of thing.
Nope, it was one of the DLC.
For those people looking for more challenge and rewards for reasons.
Yeah, added with the Expeditions DLC. It was a DLC that pretty much only added.
Makes sense.
So you can kind of view it as a way for people to get a little bit more content out of the game after they've already effectively beaten it.
Well, never mind that. That whole thing planned for this. Most of the information I was about to relay and points I was about to make are pretty much negated by that information. Fair enough, I'll admit when I'm wrong.
Like, if it doesn't get you super great rewards, I mean, yeah, whatever. But when it's not a required thing, as you know, if you want to do it, you can do it, but you're not made to it anymore. Always see the problem with it. If it was like, you have to complete Tier 3 to beat the game, that'd be a whole different story, but...
Now, I will note, this is not the only challenge DLC that made it into the game. It's not DLC like Foundations, or not Foundations, like Expeditions, where it's just the challenge by itself. But the Alan Wake DLC does include another very similar type of challenge map system to the game, with similar rewards and similar few reasons to actually do it. But you can see up there in the expedition timer, as long as you're quick, you can get, like, I don't think you'll ever have a time problem with this, but you do only have 20 minutes to do
all four of them
of the challenges.
Yeah.
I think this is their, like, answer to a roguelite mode. Or something like that. Not necessarily a roguelite, but like a random game mode. Because it chooses custom modifiers for you. It generates random challenges in various places. Oh, fair enough. We'll see if we can get this done, but if I die during this, we're just going to hit the escape thing. That is the one good thing. You do have the option of just hitting the bricks during a run if you don't want to do the run or you think you can't handle it. And you don't lose out on anything except the death taxes you've accrued or the token you spent to make that incursion in the first place.
I'd have to say that's probably the thing that I don't like the most from the description is the fact that it costs a It costs something to try.
I will note that tokens are not an uncommon resource. It is very common once you unlock the jukebox in the first place for a reward pool for one of those random missions that are popping up to just give you a jukebox token. Similarly, those challenges we can get from the board
Can give them as well.
Yeah, can have them as well.
I don't like the fact that you have to do something to get a resource to do something that might get you stuff. That once again falls into the, hey, this is a single player game. Why the fuck are they using a game as a service tactic?
They want you to keep playing their game.
That's the thing. That's the thing that weirds me out, though. You're not wrong, and that's why they want to do it. There's no other reason they would do this in the game apart from that. But I can't understand why. They're not a live.
Why that
game,
philosophy for a single player game that does not have a recurring cost?
Yeah, like
to be requiring retention like that. Yeah, no, it's kind of weird.
I'm not upset by it. It's just a
Because the more
weird
people that
decision.
are playing your game and are visibly playing your game, the more likely other people are going to buy and play your.
There's a bit of that, yeah.
No one buys a dead game.
I mean, it's a single player game. There's no such thing as a dead game for single player.
Yes, but if no one's playing your game and no one talks about your game, no one's going to buy your fucking game.
If no one knows your game exists, it's kind of hard for them to buy it.
Right. But if people are actively playing and talking about your game, then there's discourse occurring and people are aware of your game existence and buy it.
I mean, there are plenty of games that I would still be picking up and playing if I had never, or if they didn't have that stuff.
Yes,
like
but
Nier
there are plenty of
Automata.
people who wouldn't hear about games and would never purchase Control if they didn't hear about it. Because you are aware of certain games with us buy them anyways, doesn't mean that other people are.
I would also like to point out that it's not going to be the games as a service bullshit that is going to sell people on Control currently. It's the fact that it's linked to Alan Wake 2.
We're not talking about
Alan Wake 2
now.
was
We're talking about
2019
like
when it
4
first
years
came out.
ago.
That's also not entirely the point. Because let's say, for example, Krampus is playing Control right now, and he has a random person on his friends list that he friended for whatever reason. Maybe he played a game with like 5 years ago or
Yeah.
something.
And they see him playing Control.
And they're like, what the hell's Control? And they get curious.
That doesn't happen if you aren't playing Control.
Except I will point out that he's not playing Control currently because of the games of a service shit.
No, but he's still playing Control. It doesn't matter why you're playing it. If you do not see someone playing Control,
You might not know Control
you might not know
exists.
about it. But if you see them playing it, no matter what the reason they're playing it is getting more eyes on the game.
Thus, extending gameplay time in a way basically advertises your game.
It does not matter how the gameplay is getting extended, just that it is getting extended and people are playing your game. Visibility is visibility. It doesn't matter what the reason.
Yeah. The point of advertising isn't really to sell people on a product they're not going to want to buy one way or another. It's to present your product to the people who would potentially actually be interested in it.
Yeah. Fair enough. I'm just of the opinion of this type of thing is what turns me off from playing certain games. So much to the point of I am less likely to be playing this and showing off that it exists because I find games as a service shit like that in a single player an annoying design. So it's not as great as you would think because it causes enough problems in people's eyes as well.
I mean, clearly it has worked out for them.
You say that, I'm not sure that the games of a service point was what made it work out for them. I have never heard people praising Control's game of a service shit. The jukebox I literally did not know existed until Krampus brought it up for this stream. It was a non-feature. The story and overall gameplay is everything I had ever heard about Control.
Yes.
I mean, it's a DLC for people who want more combat. That's really what it is.
It's a DLC for people who want more combat and to keep people playing the game.
Yeah.
And to be perfectly honest, they kind of just threw it in the Ultimate Edition, because the Ultimate Edition came out pretty quickly for Control. Once the Foundation DLC hit, I forget which. No, it was the Foundation DLC that came out first, then the AWE DLC, which came out after. But once AWE came out, they just threw all the DLC together in Control Ultimate Edition, and that's been on sale to varying degrees of on sale ever since.
Also,
I'm pretty sure I got it for free for something.
Yeah.
Also, for a game that is going to have DLC coming out, keeping people playing your game keeps it relevant in your head when your DLC comes out. Because there are tons and tons of games, I can assure you, on Steam that people buy, play for 10 minutes, and then never pick up again.
Okay, but when your DLC is the games as a service point, that's kind of moot.
Except that would keep people who are engaged in that particular part of it until the Foundation comes out, and then they buy the Foundation. Because it doesn't appeal to you, doesn't mean it doesn't appeal to other people, and is a reason why they would make that DLC.
No, regardless, we have
Yep.
shown
I'm
off
pretty
the
sure it was like a free update as well. It didn't cost me.
We've shown off the jukebox. We have had earth-shattering revelations about its relevancy to Control. And now we have gotten to meet our brother for the first time, and he is not in a great headspace in multiple phrases of the term.
To be fair, something else is in his headspace.
Even the parts of his headspace that they aren't in is still not in a great place.
Oh, and the evil spooky slide projector that we keep hearing about is now apparently in the building somewhere, which I'm sure is great.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you all for joining us tonight. It's about time for us to be heading out. Join us on perhaps Sunday. We shall see. For more SD Gundam G Generation Overworld. And if not, you can definitely join us next Monday for the finale of Digimon Stories Cyber Sleuth, the Cyber Sleuth route, where we will be going to the digital world and finally cleaning up all the awful business with the Eaters and King Yggdrasil and apparently
something kill Mother Brain.
And apparently just going to do time travel. Because we're pulling everything out of our rear ends for that one.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
We found a rewind button.
And of course, join us back here next Thursday for the continuing adventures of Jessie Faden and her attempt to do extreme HR restructuring in Control. Until then, I've been your host, the Krampus.
Sure.
I've been Hunter Green.
And I'm Vincent.
Alright, and remember, if you have a dream where you're inside of a video game, immediately try and do the Konami code and see if you get extra lives. What's the worst that can happen?